I guess I would say welcome to the parenting community, and a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Thank you for the welcome. I'm Sophia, and I'm married to Robert. We'll celebrate 13 years of marriage in October. We have a 9-year young daughter named Isabel, and we live in North Carolina, the Raleigh area. And we're actually transplants from New York, and we'll be living here 5 years next month.
Cool. As an aside, did you get the email last night for Robert's sign-in for iHeartParenting?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Great. All right, thank you, Sophia. So is Isabel or Isabella?
It's Isabel.
Okay.
Isabel Grace.
Isabel Grace. Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
So where does Isabel go to school? Is she in public school there?
She is actually homeschooled. When we first moved here, we did enroll her in a preschool because when we first moved here, we knew nobody, and we wanted her to get acquainted. Actually, we did it for ourselves as well because we knew we'd be emptying boxes, and we wanted her to be occupied. But we also figured it would be a good way for her to make friends and for us to meet other parents here. My intention before she was even born was always to homeschool, so for me preschool was only a place to have her for a few hours 3 days a week. But then when it came time for her to go to kindergarten, she decided that she wanted to go to the public school, so we did enroll her in public school. So she did kindergarten and first grade in public school, and then about halfway through first grade, she had had enough, and she was like, "Mom, I want to be homeschooled." So she's now homeschooled and has been since August of 2011.
Wow. Do you find that you have a lot of support for homeschooling? Is there a lot of...
Actually here in North Carolina, in the area that we are in, it's very, very popular homeschooling. It was one of the reasons why I think I was, why this area pulled me, because when we were looking, we didn't even check out schools, the areas that we were in. But yeah, there's a lot of support for homeschooling down here. We don't use a lot of it. We did at the beginning. We kind of have, we do our own thing. So, but yeah, there's a lot of support for it here.
As a parent who thought about homeschooling a lot of times, the one thing that really scared me was I didn't think I was qualified to do that. Do you or Robert have a background in education?
Nope. I'm an attorney. That's what I did when I was in New York before she was born. And Robert worked in insurance. He owns his own business. That was his biggest fear. He basically said, "Look, this is your thing if you want to do it." So I didn't have a lot of support from him at the beginning. But he did go with me. What we did was we allowed her to finish first grade in the public school, and we took those 5 months that she had left of first grade to actually educate ourselves more. We went to a lot of, down here they have a lot of seminars and different programs so you can educate yourself on homeschooling. So we went to a lot of those, and I actually took an online program that helped me develop the curriculum that I developed for her in 2011 that I used for 3 months. I was really proud of myself, for developing. I had a notebook with this curriculum that went through from July through April of the next year. So that's what we did. We just kind of educated ourselves on how to do it. And it's, down here, you register your school's name and stuff like that. And it's not like they really keep track of you.
Right. Oh, cool beans. If Are there any online resources that if any of our members are interested in looking further, are there any online resources that really spoke to you?
I have to say my biggest, really the person who helped me the most was Rebecca. Because after we started homeschooling her and the curriculum I had come up with, she wasn't really, it wasn't even that she wasn't comfortable. She just is a different learner, and I hadn't really examined that. And Rebecca was the one who kind of said to me, well, have you considered unschooling, which is what we actually do now? And I was like, no. So she had sent me some resources on that. And besides the fact that I actually had a book sitting on my shelf that had been sitting there for a couple of years that I never picked up to read, called the Unschooling Unmanual. And it was a thin paperback book. I read it in one day, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is for us, and why has this been sitting on my shelf and I never read it before? But, things come to you when they... So that, I can't say that there were really any specific resources that helped me make the decision. I think it was more intuition and gut. I knew what kind of student I had been in school, and I knew the more I read about homeschooling that I would have flourished more as a homeschooling student than I did being public school.
Great. Last thing is, if any of the iHeart Parenting members have any questions about homeschooling, is it okay if they send you an email?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not a problem.
Awesome. Okay, we're done with that part. I have a 17-year-old daughter and a 19-year-old son. My daughter actually goes to virtual school.
Okay.
In Florida, so she does all of her schooling online. And
great.
I interact more with her teachers now than I ever did when she was in public school. I mean, we'll video chat, emails, back and forth, call each other all the time. It seems like they have a lot more time to interact. I was just scared. I was too scared to just, to say, okay, homeschool. And my wife it was not her thing. She was very traditional. She's Catholic school, K through 12, and
that's my husband. Yeah, he was Catholic school all the way.
Oh yeah, and let him know. I mean, Tricia was Jesuit. I mean, she was through the Jesuit system, and they are
strict. Yep.
Well within the box. So that was not her gig at all. But Claudia, she's flourishing with homeschool or with virtual school. She'll graduate. She's going to graduate about a semester earlier than her peer group.
Oh, wow. That's great.
It is. I'm going to take the autofocus off because I keep on coming in and out of focus, which is a drag. Okay, cool. I think this month's topic is partnerships.
Yes, it is.
And I'm not really sure what Rebecca wanted to talk about with that. I'm trying to remember. Did you pop into the forum on that one?
I did last night.
Cool. I thought I saw an email come through.
Yeah, I did a quick little.
Cool.
And I was on the call last night too, so.
I wasn't. Normally I'm on those calls. Last night I just had way too much going on here. Let's see. Well, is there anything that you want to say about partnerships? Now, you've been married for 13 years?
13 years, yeah. October it'll be, I mean, we've been together for 13 years. What was that?
All of them bliss, right?
Oh, yes, definitely. No, as I alluded to in my forum reply last night, as I said, we're transplants from New York. My husband was a workaholic. We got down here because after having Isabel, she was born at 27 weeks. She was 2 pounds 12 ounces when she was born. So it changed my life radically. As I said, I'm an attorney by trade. I practiced with my dad. Up until I had her, she wasn't due till April. She came in January. So I had my ducks pretty much lined up in a row, and my intention was to have her, to take some time off from the practice, but to basically bring her back into the practice with me, because as I said, it was a family practice. But when she came at 27 weeks, it was like, this is my new job. I have no other job. So for me, it just ended. And after about a year, I was like, this is crazy. We were older when we had her. I was 40 already. And I was just like, he's missing his child. He's missing her upbringing. I mean, he would leave early in the morning, like by 5 o'clock. He wouldn't get home till 7 or 8. And then he'd eat dinner. He'd fall asleep on the couch. I'm like, this has to change. So he said, well, if you can find a cheaper place for us to live, I might be willing to retire. I don't think he thought I would take him up on it, because he's Italian, I'm Puerto Rican, and you don't leave your families. Family is like really, really important. So, but I took him up on it, and we started looking for different places. And as I said, in 2008, we ended up here in North Carolina. People say, how did you end up in the area that you ended up in? I say, it basically found us, because again, it wasn't like we were looking at schools. We didn't know a lot about the area. We just knew that we liked it and it felt right. But being a workaholic for so many years, he was miserable when we first moved here. He made me miserable. He made Isabel miserable. And finally in 2010, thankfully I had been working with Rebecca for about 4 months already on parent coaching. I had gotten to her through our holistic moms group down here. And so I was working with her, and then at some point I was like, it can't continue like this. This is not a family. By then he had gotten himself a part-time job and was working actually more, it felt like more hours than he had been when he was at his own job up in New York. And I put my foot down. I said, it can't continue like this. We came here for a reason, to bring up our daughter. Isabel would say to me, Mommy, why doesn't Daddy want to be with us? And I'd be like, it's not that he doesn't want to be with us. It's just that, this is the way he is. And we as a couple started working with Rebecca. She actually came to live with us for 4 days in 2011. And now it's been bliss. It's been really, really good. He stopped working. We're now fully retired. We're actually, right now in the process of waiting. We're getting an RV.
Nice.
So that we're going to hit the road and start traveling around the country. So now it feels like we're partners. Before it wasn't. Before it really was, he didn't want to hear anything about homeschooling. He thought the way I was parenting was, crazy. I would say since 2011, Rebecca was with us in 2011 of March is when she came to stay with us. And since then, it feels way more like a partnership.
That's great to hear, because so many times when you talk to people about partnerships, it is in past tense, because they get about 30 seconds into your conversation and they just split. They just go away. Of the things that Rebecca talked to you about in 2011, was there anything in specific or some sort of new way of communicating that you can put your finger on that helped?
Well, I mean, at that point, when she was here in March, observing us and everything, she really taught us, one, how to communicate with each other and to be connected. Her big thing is not only the consciously parenting, but how important it is to be connected. And I totally got it, and so did Robert, that we weren't connected. I mean, we were not making connections at all. Basically, he was living his life, I was living mine with Isabel. And so I think the connection part was the biggest piece for us. Like, we really got it about connection. And then I would say, like, maybe 3 months later, she introduced us to Heidi Yumi's Bridging, and we checked it out online. I loved it. I was like, oh gosh, this is like perfect. Rebecca wasn't a facilitator yet. I was ready to fly across the country, across the world to get to one of their conferences. But Robert was a little put off by Heidi. Her gregariousness, her loudness, her forcefulness wasn't really his thing, but he loved Rebecca. So once Rebecca became a facilitator, I think she became a facilitator last year in 2012, we were able to do it with her. And that really helped us a lot as well. So I would say it's the connection thing, and then it was also the bridging, which we do regularly. And as I was telling her just the other day, we actually even use it with our daughter. I have Robert and her. They have a very contentious relationship, and I'm able to put them together and facilitate their bridging. So it's been really, really good.
Nice. No, that's great to hear. So if there are couples out there that are having issues communicating, they just don't connect, crossing the bridge would be an idea that you would suggest?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It is nice.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts or tidbits?
No, I think that's about it.
Outstanding. That was.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Pretty much. Thank you.
And as soon as you get the RV, come on down Florida way. It's nice out here.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No, we were there last year, as a matter of fact. In August, we were with Rebecca, and we were looking in the area because we may be transplanting ourselves again, but we'll see. Once the RV gets here, we'll make that decision. So
I hear you. Yeah, Rebecca lives about 1,000 feet that way.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, we live in the same condominium complex.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, last August, I think she was still in Crystal Beach.
Yeah, she was. Yep, that's where we met with her in Crystal Beach. Yep.
Yeah, she's about 5 miles south of there now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's beautiful down there. There's no doubt about it. Well, thank you so much, Sophia, and
you're welcome.
As soon as you get off of the call, you will have probably an Uvu icon on your phone. Just click it and sign out because it will it'll connect to your Facebook, and like when people message you on Facebook, Uvu will want to facilitate that. That's the only That's the only quirky thing is as long as you're signed out, that's fine, and then you can come into the chat room anytime you want.
Great. Okay.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Have a great day, Tra.
You too.
Bye.